Early in the morning, a thin mist still covered the mountain slopes. Inside the small brick house, little Zwei was still sound asleep on the old mat, his chubby hands curled as if embracing a sweet dream. Watching her child sleep peacefully, Lytucam quietly stepped outside, afraid that any noise might wake her little angel. On the porch, the fresh air carried the scent of damp earth after the night rain. The newly built house was not yet finished, with weeds and dry roots scattered around. Lytucam picked up the hoe, each strike against the ground sounding firm, as if planting new faith in her heart. She worked while thinking that, though her thin shoulders bore heavy burdens, as long as her child could grow up peacefully, every hardship would turn into strength. The first rays of sunlight filtered through the leaves, shining on the young mother's hair still wet with dew. Sweat trickled down her forehead, yet a gentle smile lingered on her lips. Each clump of grass pulled up, each patch of soil cleared felt like another small step in building a home. Inside, little Zwei stirred softly, his eyes still half closed, peaceful in the lingering warmth. Outside, the mother's figure worked silently among the mountains, like a slender branch that clung firmly to its roots. That simplicity, seemingly so small, was in fact the foundation of boundless love, a mother's love for her child. Wearing her conical hat, Lytucam left the small house nestled against the hillside and followed the narrow trail into the forest. The mountain morning always carried a strange stillness, broken only by birds calling their flock and dew clinging to the grass. In her hands were only a knife and a simple conical hat, yet within her heart was the determination of a single mother. Little Zwei was still sleeping soundly in the rough brick house, giving her precious time to gather food for the new day. Crossing a small stream, Lytucam paused, gazing at the dense clumps of old bamboo swaying in the wind. She bent down, waded into the cool water, then walked deeper into the forest floor covered with fallen leaves. The sturdy bamboo stood. She knelt down, her calloused hands gripping the knife firmly, skillfully cutting each shoot with care, as if tending to her own child. From time to time she lifted her head, listening to the forest, both alert and immersed in the green silence. Each cut of the blade, each fresh shoot gathered into her hat, was not only food for their simple meal, but also hope for the days ahead. Sweat ran down her cheeks, but in her eyes glimmered endurance and strength. When her hat was filled with bamboo shoots, Lytucam sat down to rest for a moment. She brushed away strands of sweat-soaked hair sticking to her forehead and breathed deeply the scent of bamboo leaves and damp soil. In her heart, she thought of little Zwei, of the evening meal that would have more wild greens and the sweetness of fresh shoots. Amidst hardship, maternal love and the will to survive remained the fire that gave her faith to move forward. When Lytucam returned to the hut, little Zwei had just woken up. The child's wide, innocent eyes lit up upon seeing his mother. He smiled, waved his tiny arms, and babbled happily. Lytucam set down the bamboo shoots, hurried to pick him up, and suddenly felt her heart lightened after the hard morning's work. She stroked his thin hair, speaking softly, "My dear, Mummy is home now." Little Zwei buried his face into her shoulder, clutching her shirt tightly as if afraid to let go. Looking at her child, all fatigue seemed to vanish, leaving only endless love. In the bare house, with only an old mat and a few simple belongings, the child's clear laughter made the space warm. Lytucam spread the mat outside, placing her child down to play. He was fascinated with an old milk bottle, his eyes curious at everything around him. In the distance, the pond reflected the midday sun, and the mountain breeze carried the scent of earth and fresh leaves. The mother took her knife to carve bamboo, setting up a temporary fence. From time to time she glanced back at her child, reassured when she saw him laughing, his tiny hands playing with a green tarp. That simple moment.
The sound of a motorbike rumbled along the dirt road, weaving through the green canopy. Lytucam, busy splitting bamboo, looked up and recognized the familiar figure. It was the man who had once helped her, showing her the hut to stay in. He stopped his motorbike in front of the hut, his face weathered by sun and wind, sweat beading on his brow, yet his eyes shone with kindness. On his bike were several bags of supplies, a small sack of rice, some salt, a bottle of cooking oil, a few packs of noodles, all simple yet precious for Lytucam and her child. He had even brought a tin of powdered milk and a new bottle for little Zwei. Seeing her hesitation, he smiled warmly. "I passed by the market, so I bought a few things. With a little one in the house, you must be lacking many things. Please, don't be shy." Lytucam quickly wiped her hands, bowed her head slightly, and said haltingly, "Thank you so much. I don't know how to repay you." The man only smiled and waved his hand. Everyone faces hard times. I help you today, and later, when you are able, you help someone else. That's enough. Hearing this, Lytucam felt a lump in her throat. She went inside to bring out little Zwei. The boy's eyes lit up when he saw the fresh milk cartons, his tiny hands reaching out eagerly. The man opened one box and handed it over. "Let me open one for him. It will do him good." Little Zwei clutched the milk carton, his small lips sucking eagerly, his chubby cheeks turning rosy with joy. Seeing this, Lytucam smiled unconsciously, tears rolling down her cheeks. It had been so long since she had seen her son this happy. The man watched with gentle eyes, then spoke softly. "He is still young. A little fresh milk will help him grow stronger. Don't worry, I only give what I can." Lytucam clenched her hands tightly and nodded. At that moment, she truly felt that, even in the lonely mountains, there were still hearts willing to reach out and lift her up. The child's giggles blended with the rustle of the leaves and the breeze blowing through the simple hut. In that simple moment, mother and child no longer felt alone. The man quietly wheeled his bike away. The engine faded into the distance, leaving the mother and child in the doorway, still holding the small carton of milk, a gift of kindness, fueling their hope for the hard days ahead. Lytucam carried little Zwei back into the hut. Still overwhelmed by emotion, she gently laid him on the old mat, brushed the fine strands of hair from his forehead, and watched as he babbled, playing with the bottle cap. Her eyes filled with tender love, but also with worries for the future. Outside, the stream murmured and birds sang, bringing her a strange sense of peace. She rolled up her sleeves and washed the fresh bamboo shoots in the cool water. The chill soothed her rough hands, calming her heart. The shoots, a simple gift from the forest, would become the main meal for mother and child. When she returned, she lit the fire in the small hut. The flames flickered, spreading warmth, while the smoke stung her eyes red. She carefully placed the pot of shoots on the fire, the smell of smoke mingling with the fresh bamboo, filling the empty space with a hint of home. Little Zwei sat on the mat, his round eyes fixed on the dancing flames, his tiny hands playing with the bottle cap, as if finding joy in the simplest things. Lytucam sat down beside him, gently stroked his cheek, and whispered, "Tomorrow I will go look for work. We will have more food and clothes, my dear." Her voice trembled, yet was full of determination. In that moment, every worry seemed covered by maternal love. Life for the two of them was still poor, but rays of hope had begun to shine through. From the bamboo shoots gathered by the stream,
From the rice cooked over firewood to the innocent laughter of little Zwei, all were reminders that as long as there is love, even in poverty, the road ahead will always open to a brighter tomorrow.
Chúng ta vừa cùng nhau đi qua một hành trình nhỏ nhưng lại chất chứa thật nhiều cảm xúc, từ những nỗi buồn, những giọt nước mắt cho đến cả những khoảnh khắc bình yên, giản dị vô cùng quý giá. Cảm ơn bạn đã đồng hành và lắng nghe đến tận những giây phút cuối cùng. Mỗi một lượt xem, mỗi một ánh mắt dừng lại, mỗi một trái tim cùng đồng cảm đều là nguồn động lực để cho những câu chuyện như thế này được tiếp tục viết nên. Nếu cuộc sống còn bộn bề, đôi khi chỉ cần những giây phút lắng lại, ta sẽ nhận ra rằng niềm tin, lòng nhân ái và sự sẻ chia luôn có sức mạnh chữa lành kỳ diệu. Và cũng chính nhờ có bạn người không ai dành thời gian quý giá để đồng hành, mà hành trình của nhân vật trong câu chuyện này trở nên trọn vẹn hơn, ấm áp hơn. Dù phía trước vẫn còn nhiều chông gai, nhưng chỉ cần trái tim con người biết hướng về nhau thì bóng tối nào cũng sẽ được soi sáng bởi một tia hy vọng. Xin gửi đến bạn lời cảm ơn chân thành nhất. Hẹn gặp lại các bạn trong các tập tiếp theo, nơi câu chuyện còn tiếp tục mở ra và những bước chân kiên cường luôn mơ ước lặng lẽ và niềm tin chưa bao giờ tắt. Cảm ơn các bạn rất nhiều. Chúc các bạn luôn bình an.